happens if you're looking at smaller companies. Smaller companies normally won't have the power to work with the very big. Smaller staffing firms won't have the power to work with the really big companies, because they want a network. They want to see how big is your database. So they need to work via the bigger suppliers to have access to this request. So they are obliged to do so. So while working with a marketplace, they can directly, to the smaller staffing firm, an agency, for example, who is a specialist in some niche profiles, they can propose their candidate directly to the end client, which has, of course, some benefits. Looking at the costs, it's normal when you're using a marketplace and a smaller company can directly propose a candidate. You cut the margins. Cutting margins will mean 10 to 30% less costs on the day rates, because looking at consultancy contracts, most of the time they're between 1 and 3 years running. So if you can cut 10 to 30% on the day rates of a consultant, that's a nice saving, I guess. But also, if you're using a marketplace, and on this marketplace today, I didn't mention earlier, but on this marketplace today, we have 4,000 suppliers.
Ooh,
that's a lot indeed. That are working on, that can be working on the requests. We have some freelancers, some thousands of freelancers, and this type of it creates competition. It's normal, but it's different than when you're working with 2 to 3 suppliers. The supplier knows that he can have a higher rate than when he is working via a marketplace, because he knows that he is in competition with the rest of the market. And that's also something that reduces the cost, just the competition part. But also, most of the time, for a hiring manager, savings or pricing is not the most important factor for him. The most important factor for him, or I want to have candidates, I want to have more candidates, because he doesn't want that, like I said earlier, he doesn't want that his project have delays, and therefore he needs to have candidates as soon as possible, and enough candidates, so he has the option to choose the best fit for his organization, because sometimes you get 1 or 2 good candidates, but there also is a cultural fit that needs to be looked into. And
yeah, that's actually the real problem, the war on talent. And so there are fewer candidates and the rates are high. So actually, when I hear you speaking what you're saying, and you can actually attack these both issues, attack these both problems with the connecting expertise of marketplace.
Yes, indeed. So basically, in short, what you will reach when using a marketplace, you will have more access. You will reach the suppliers that have available consultants, and because of the fact that they have available consultants, you will have a lower pricing, because someone is on their bench and they need to be off the bench, because it's a cost for them. But they are looking for an assignment, they're not finding it. But the client is looking for a consultant, but they are not finding the smaller companies, because it's a lot of work to do so. They need to create an RFP. Looking at big companies, they need to create RFPs, and it's a lot of work to do so, and to manage and to find these suppliers. So with a marketplace, you can contact them directly,